Yo, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Nice and early, bright and early. Got our coffees. This is Frank Scappaticci and Adam Whitney from Grayline. Well, I'm from Grayline Investments. Adam, what company you repping? Where you at?
Will to Win Investments, man. Will to Win Investments.
Nice, nice. And today we're gonna talk about what drug Adam into real estate, what he's been working on, and then we're just gonna get into talking about wholesaling, flipping houses, maybe some creative financing stuff, and just try to chill and enjoy ourselves on this Friday morning. So I wanted to just kick off, Adam. If you could just tell us what your business is all about and what got you into real estate.
Yeah, I think the real estate thing is like a seed planted a long time ago that took a really, really long time to grow. Active duty military guy like most of your people that you surround yourself with. And about 2007, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, didn't buy a property until 2017. Took 10 years.
How many deals did you analyze over that 10-year period?
Quite a bit. The problem was I didn't actually know what I was doing then. I was just kind of like, I was really interested in it. So I was looking, but I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't until really in 2017, I bought a primary residence. I knew I was going to go back to the Virginia area for short term. So I said, I'll buy this and then I'll rent it out. It's going to work, right? It always works. But I didn't know how to really evaluate cash flow, true cash flow, cap rate, or any of that kind of stuff, right? Or cash on cash return. Didn't understand depreciation, appreciation, any of that stuff, or debt pay down. So 2017, I bought a property. I was pretty engaged that year in the service. I was going to school. And then 2018, when I moved, I just immersed myself in education, like 100 books, you know the story, 100 books, thousands of podcasts. And then 2019, I bought a rental property, which is a fantastic property. I started doing private lending. I invested into a syndication as a limited partner. And then I added a duplex not too long ago. And then I decided
you run an e-commerce store too, right?
Yeah. I invested in, that to me was an experimental investment, right? I had some cash and I was like, hey, I think this is a growth industry. So I invested in it. It's definitely been profitable. There are some unforeseen kind of issue stuff with that. So that's the kind of investment, if you've got cash laying around, it's worthwhile, but it's not, you shouldn't bank your life on it, in my opinion.
Yeah. But if you're quitting a W-2 job, it could make sense, right? If you're just trying to dive into real estate investing and maybe you don't have deals yet in the pipeline, like I could see like why you would do it,
100%. Yeah. It's really profitable too. And, if your finances are right, you got the right amount of credit, like it can be incredibly profitable on that particular thing. I think so since from November 15th to the end of December, we made about 20,000 and there's a profit split on that. So we're net 13K. But Amazon is brutal. The risk with Amazon is they're brutal. So right now they're like, so you have two risks. You can be suspended or deactivated, but there's all the things in between. I'm not suspended or deactivated, but they want to take temperature gauges on your company so they could just hold your cash. So you could have credit out and they can hold your cash.
It. Yeah.
Right. They're like, hey, we're looking into your company, so we're holding your disbursement. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's a great way to make money, but just like everything else, like there's caution that you don't. When you get those YouTube ads telling you to do a drop shipping company, you don't really know like all the risk, right?
There's
in real estate, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then really last October, I determined, so I went into multifamily too. I JV'd on a 42 unit in St. Louis area. And it ended up falling through in due diligence, which was probably a good thing for me. I did JV with some really great guys. So, I mean, the theme here is like, I loved real estate so much, I wanted to do all of it. Yeah. And then I kind of just focused in towards the end of 2020 and just went all in and decided I like I like the speed and velocity of the deal. I like doing that. I like talking to people. I like serving and solving problems. So went all in on wholesaling in the Tampa area, kind of how you and I were talking about. So I'm grinding through that. I'm not like wildly successful yet. I'm trying to catch up with you and your team, and I'm taking notes as you guys put out this great content. So that's where I'm at.
For how many months have you been doing the wholesaling thing?
So I actually started marketing in December.
Oh, so that's right, last December, just
like
recently.
like last month. Yeah.
What's what? How do you describe your experience over the last 60 days? Then, for someone who hadn't done it before at all, in one sentence, what would you tell them?
Like it's a hustle. It's like a hard hustle, right? You got to hustle, especially when you're a one-man show. Like right now, I'm acquisitions, dispositions, transaction coordination, admin assistant. I'm sitting in all the seats, and I'm learning all the seats too. So it's not like I'm just fluidly going through the nuances of that. And then, it's a big time numbers game to find people who, have a problem to solve, right? Everybody doesn't have a problem to solve. So, it's a hustle, man. It's a hard hustle. So I'm just getting to the point where, I got a good amount of leads in my CRM, and I've got some relationship with some of my leads now, and I'm getting ready to put together like a owner finance deal, hopefully. And then I've got a lot too. I've got a lot of land. I think I'm going to move, hopefully make about 10K off of it, 7 to 10K.
That's a wholesale deal for land.
Yeah.
Dude, I always find those to be super difficult. I mean, we've struggled with land deals. Can you go over that one? I'm curious how that one's going for you, because we've actually screwed up 2 of them. Both because the land was bad, but go ahead. Sorry.
I'm like in the process of it. So it's hard to evaluate land, right? Or like what you can get for it. So if you look at what a lot of people say, it's like, just anchor that thing way low. Just tell them you'll give them like 3 pennies for it and see if they take. And a lot of people would just give land away. Well, this particular plot of land is in like an affluent, closed, gated, basically one street. It's one road in on a circle, big 3,000 to 4,000 square foot homes that were built in 2014. Mm-hmm. A new build in there's probably going to sell for $900,000. Right. So like I talked to this lady, I see why that land is still sitting there. Like, is there can they not build on it? Is there some type of zoning restriction? So I'm like on that acquisition part of it still. Bottom line is I still think there's a margin. It's not a great margin. So other wholesalers aren't making, 20, 30, 50 grand off it. So they hard lowballed it, and they didn't lock it up. I actually talked to another guy who offered pretty low on it. Mm-hmm. So now I'm finding buyers. Now I'm talking to builders to see if I can actually move this thing. Yeah, it's a hustle. It's just hustle.
And how'd you find the builders? Is that personal relationships, or do you have to hustle that too?
Oh, it's hustle. So here's been my strategy to find just buyers in general. And I think this can work for anybody. Go into your market, go onto Facebook, go in your market, search your market REI, search your market wholesale, search your market real estate, join every real estate Facebook group in your market, and then you will see wholesalers posting deals in there. You'll see all kinds of stuff in there, and you'll see the buyers posting their email in there. And just build your buyers list. Go in there and scrape every single email you can get and build your buyers list. So I did the same thing with builders. I just went in there and said, hey, who are the builders in the group? I got an opportunity. And then I had a bunch of people reach out, which I'm in the process of scheduling all those guys to talk to.
I love this topic. I have a statement. I don't know how true this is, but this is my own belief that people are starting to get better at hustling on acquisitions, but a lot of people stop hustling on dispo, or underappreciate that dispo sometimes requires some hustle, especially if you're operating in an asset class that you don't always operate in. Land, people that buy land and people that flip do the burst strategy and flip houses is not always the same person, as you know, right? So your buyer's list, if you've only done single family, probably needs some hustle, So like we did the same thing. We even took it a step further. We went on Crexy and like all the commercial websites, and we started sorting the agents by number of transactions, like the people that are most active, and we were cold calling them. We did
Really?
we had virtual assistants getting involved because we had a really large portfolio that we thought was legit. The land ended up being not good, but like not as buildable as what we were first told, essentially, or at least two of the plots. So we ended up not selling it, but like we had no buyers that bought land, on our list in that city.
It's so niche.
We were like, oh shit, we got to get on the horse, like start moving.
Yeah, anyway. It's definitely, it's niche. And I think the benefit, especially if you're looking at big land where you're talking about subdividing and building a whole neighborhood or something, fortunately for this is like a pretty well-established street, closed gated community, beautiful homes that are like appreciating through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely money to be made. You just gotta see if I got it under the right price and I can actually move it. But yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna look at that website.
Yeah, dude, there's so many creative ways to hustle. We had this is not related, but this was like the maximum hustle thing that I learned this week. So I wanted to share it. We were in our mastermind this week, and a guy named Paul Morton, who's got some more experience, he was talking about raising money and the hustle of raising private money. A lot of people go on social media, they network, all that stuff. And he's like, hey man, we use direct mail to acquire houses. He goes, I would use direct mail, and I would sort my list at $2 million houses and above, and I'll direct mail people and be like, hey, do you want to make 8 to 10% on your money that's lying around? And I was like, wow, like you can hustle anything, like it's amazing.
What's interesting? My wife, she's not involved on the real estate stuff, but she worked for a nonprofit that funded the Marine Corps Museum in the Virginia area. And that's what they did, direct mail marketing to get the donations to basically raise private money.
Right.
So that, that shouldn't be a foreign thing to us, direct mail marketing to get private money is an interesting topic too, because I think there's a fallacy in private money where it's like, hey, Frank, I'm going to do investments. You want to make some money? You're like, yeah, I'll give you a 50 grand, 100 grand, for some return. And then that's the end of it. Well, if you're the only thing in that pot and you invest your money somewhere else when I need it, then it's not available. So when you get people, I think people don't realize a lot of times these are like soft commits, and then they're waiting for your opportunity. Doesn't mean they're just sitting there waiting for your opportunity. A lot of times they're putting their money out in different places. So you need to have a pool of private money investors who are going to be at different spots at different times with the ability to kind of send them all the opportunity.
Dude, 100%. Like, also, it's much easier. It's scarier to wait until you have to network, but to really close the deal, you need the deal, right?
Right.
Obviously, nothing gets signed until the deal is there, and it's easier to sell things when you have the deal, in my opinion. But that time crunch obviously is there. I don't know if you're just getting started with private money, though. I don't know if there's a way around that. Like, you're going to be under the gun at some point. If you get in trouble with your hand, say you need help, but it is what it is.
I think private money too is like, it kind of starts off, it's like it grows bigger, and outside of you start in your personal network, like your parents, your in-laws, friends with money. Like I've been able to raise money for even other people. Like I had a buddy who's like, hey, I just cashed out my retirement savings. I got 100K. What do I do with it? Like I want to do real estate. And I'm like, man, dude, I don't have an opportunity, but I know a great guy who does. So I was able to bring that to somebody else.
Dude, totally. Like that's the value you can add to a private lender by placing their money for them. It's like, then if you want to get good terms later, you're going to get it. I actually tell people, I think the ceiling, if you're getting good at raising private money and you're awesome at it, and you have 10 people and you know what returns they expect, you can help place their money by giving them to another deal or another investor that you trust. And you could monetize that. You could be like, yo, can I get a half point for placing all your cash all year? Some lenders,
Yeah, definitely.
some lenders will say, yeah. So if you want to make 10 grand this year just from networking, why not? You're doing a good service.
Right.
As long as the deals are good and the people are good people.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So you're raising private money. Do you have like a preferred ratio of how many homes you wholesale versus flip or seller finance? Like how do you, because you have like these deal ninja qualities, right? Like you can cut it a million different ways. Like, do you have a preferred way you want to do it, like a primary strategy and a secondary, or how do you look at that?
So for me personally, like my foundation for wealth is, aside from like 401k passive index investing, my real foundation is buy and hold rentals, right? Like holding real assets
Yeah.
that have multiple benefits over time. We're talking 10, 20, 30-year time frame. And I buy those assets for cash flow. So that's the foundation. I will always kind of lean towards that kind of a deal to put in my portfolio. And I personally enjoy kind of the velocity of the deal, like I said. So I don't necessarily have a ratio. And to be honest, I'm not really a successful wholesaler yet. Like I'm literally doing my first deals. I just got off the phone, like getting so close to closing this owner finance deal. So I don't really have a ratio at this point.
Yeah. It's, I hear you. It's, you know what? I don't know the answer to this yet either. It's when we started out, we wanted more rentals too. Cause everyone thinks about their family and retirement and freedom and all that stuff. It's great. Real estate can do that for you. But what ended up happening for us is as we scaled, right, you get employees and you get this and you have overhead and the things that come with the business. And the more overhead you have, the more, at least in the first couple of years of your business starting, the more like immediacy matters to you, right? Like I want to make sure I can pay people, at the end of the quarter. I want 3 or 4 months of operating expenses in the checking account, right? Rentals, if you can find rentals that accomplishes that for you, I will give that person all my money, but we have not been able to figure that out, right? So that's when you end up wholesaling and flipping, get that 10, 20, 30, $40,000 check. And that keeps you going, So and now I'm starting to get, now that we're okay, and I feel like our liquidity's in a good position, I'm like, damn, I wish I had more rentals, It's a double-edged sword.
And I think the beauty though is that's kind of what wholesaling does for you. It gives you optionality.
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity, like first you build the wholesaling business. Now I'm like the act of wholesaling itself. Like I do like helping solve problems. I do like just talking to people. So like, this deal with this guy right now, he's an investor. He's a smart guy. I think we're actually friends on Facebook now. He wants to vet me, so he's probably hearing this. But it's cool because like he's done his grind for, 10, 20, 30 years with properties. And I may be able to give him the price he wants at the rate he wants. And he still cash flows and he doesn't have any of the headache of the property. He doesn't have to deal with the tenant. He doesn't have to sell his house and get crushed by capital gains, depreciation, recapture, and all this stuff. And he kind of just, he could transition to the more passive investing style. I think that's probably suited for somebody that experience. But I think the point is, it's like in the wholesaling community, you get a lot of, there's a low barrier to entry. So wholesaling is like, you get a bunch of junk, right? Like people just going in, they're not really trying to help solve any problems. They're just lowballing. So that part of the wholesaling game, it's frustrating because you get on the phone with somebody and they're like, oh, you're like the 12th person to call me. You're like, you're trying to steal my property. It's like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't need to buy your property. I want to, but I don't need to.
Yeah, dude, I 100% agree. There's a lot of wholesalers that give us a bad name. I think everyone would agree with that, so like, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I do think that's why, even if you're not amazing at it, but at least attempting to do seller financing and subject to, if you can have 2 offers to a seller, 1, you're more likely to be fair, right? 2, like you're more likely to turn from a salesperson into a trusted advisor because the person's like, oh, this person's solving a problem for me, or at least they're trying, right?
Right.
They're giving it a shot, to make this work. And sometimes you can make it work where everybody wins. I like it because we've had numerous times where someone thinks you're a scam. You go, okay, I understand you don't want the cash offer. Maybe, I wouldn't want to do that too, right? But here's the seller finance offer, and then they'll take the cash offer, like because they're like, okay, like this person's not a jerk, and then they'll end up taking it anyway. That happens like way more than I thought, which has been really surprising. So that's another power of that strategy.
That's awesome.
It makes your primary strategy go sometimes.
Yeah, it's all, and I think the other part, is like you're transparent. It's like, hey, if I want this to be fair for you, I really do. So I'll tell guys like, hey, if that based on what I'm hearing, you should probably list this on the MLS. Here's kind of, just know when you list on the MLS, you're dealing with agents. You're talking 30 to 60 days on the market based on the condition I'm seeing. You're going to pay, probably X amount of money in commission and closing. So, I will educate them on that, but like for some people that's fine because they want to get the very top dollar that they can get on the MLS, and that's okay. I'll tell them like, you should do that. Like your situation, I think you should do that.
Yeah, no doubt. I've used the term convenience fee, right? Because sometimes if homes that are in total disrepair and are a mess that agents don't touch, like that person's probably going to sell to an investor, right? So that you are their option. Like that, you are really probably their best option. They should just try to get the best price that they can, right? For homes that are in good condition, sometimes you're like, well, why is this person selling?
Right.
And I think you can be honest with them. Like, you could make more on the MLS, man, or miss, but like I'm providing you a convenience service, like
100%.
And if you can raise private money, like you said, you're not lying, right? Because if it's really in good condition, you're getting that price that you negotiated, you should be able to take that down, right? In worst case scenario,
Yeah, I saw like another guy in my circle, Ryan Dossie, if you know who he is. He
his advertisements. He's got his marketing is like
he's a marketing
he's out there
ninja. He's a marketing ninja. But he did a thing about a deal he did where it was like an way affluent neighborhood, beautiful house. It was in Kentucky, and the guy had money. The guy was in a great position. The house was in really good condition, and the guy just didn't want to deal with it, and he was moving and he had money. He literally was like, I will pay you. I'm basically okay paying you for the convenience. And that was his motivation to give it to somebody who can come in with all cash.
Well, and if maybe that guy's wealthy enough where his hour's worth $20,000.
100%.
Like, if his hour's worth 20 grand, maybe he's not worth his time to call an agent, Jeff Bezos is talking to a real estate agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, someone take care of it for him. So he's losing money on the transaction, but who cares, right? I want to take a break. I got to get in the habit of plugging our own page because my business partner Plum says I don't do it enough. But if you're enjoying this, please share, subscribe, tag a friend, like it, put a comment in, write us a message, whatever. It helps the algorithms spread our word and give us some reach. So thank you. I wanted to since we're talking about private money,
follow them on social media too. Grayline Investments, they're all over. It's always great content. It really is. I see your. I think one of your acquisition managers, Parsons, right?
Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's out there putting out great content. So it's really cool to see some of the stuff he's putting out.
Adam is like he's like kind of like you in the fact that he's got the ultimate hustle. Like our acquisitions matter. Adam he's got Etsy stores. He's like building war zone, like Call of Duty stuff in his basement with his kids. He's got like he's like I don't know when he sleeps, but yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate it, man. You gave a better plug than I did. The question I was going to ask you though is a lot of wholesalers won't take the step to raise private money, right? They want to just like have that quick transactional business, 2 front offices, just sell, right? Why do you think it's important to have the ability to spend cash, to actually have private money available? What made that important for you?
Oh man, so it's all about exit strategies, right? So you might get a great deal under contract at a great price, but maybe the seller is like, maybe they've had a bad experience and they like, I want you to buy the only way I sell to you at this awesome price is if you purchase you're the person purchasing the property at closing. So you can use transactional money where you pay somebody, one of your private investors, a fee to use their money to kind of do the double close thing, or if you're going to wholesale, right? So, some title companies you can double close and you don't have to bring any money to it. That's awesome too. Or you can do the wholesale. So maybe it's like, man, this is a great property. It doesn't need much. Like, I'm just going to purchase it and put it on the MLS and sell it. So just because the numbers work out that way, it just opens up your exit strategies immensely.
Dude, huge. I'm glad you mentioned that. Wholesaling is, to me, the answer why you should have private money. Like, we've started to develop a ratio in our company. If we can make 3 times the amount we will on our fee by holding it for a month or 2 months, like, we might buy it, right? Like, that's a trigger in our head. Like, if we run the numbers and that's where we end up, like, let's do it, right? So we just closed on a hotel. It was our best one. We put it up, well, not closed, but we put it under contract on the sale this morning. And
Nice.
like, dude, sometimes you get lucky, man. It was in Florida. It was in Cape Coral.
Awesome.
It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, new subdivision, all new constructions around it. Got under contract for 180. We had the ARV at 255. Go to the walkthrough. Like, maybe new flooring in the kitchen. That's it, right?
Ready to
like,
go. Yep.
We were like, okay, so we bought it, and I listed it FSBO or FISBO, and under contract for 225 as of this morning. So I'm like, all right, man. Like we would have made maybe $8,000 on the fee, maybe $10,000. That's the average for us. But we're gonna make $35,000 after closing costs. Hey, man, lock it up.
And I think it's important too to highlight to just general people, whoever's watching this, is like, if people hear these numbers that you guys are doing, or the successful wholesalers are doing, some people are doing $100,000 wholesale deal. They're hitting, they can hit the 6-figure deal, but I think it's important to highlight that there's a ton of marketing money that goes into this.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think you touched on it early on, overhead. You're paying dispositions guys, acquisitions guys, transaction coordination. You're paying for the marketing stuff, which can be really expensive. So, but yeah, that's an incredible deal. And I just think it's important to highlight that for people.
I don't want to pretend like it's all sunshine and rainbows for us either. Like we've had periods in end of Q3, Q4, because we use SMS, as I told you, as our primary marketing platform, and we had delivery rate issues, right? Like Verizon's blocking stuff, things are going up and down. That really affects the number of qual leads that come into our door. So our pipeline was like, we're so cocky. We're like, our pipeline's killing it. And then we had a little bit of like a 50-day period where the pipeline started shrinking, right? And then those operating expenses, because we have all this marketing, you look at it and you're like, shit, we got to figure this out. We figured it out. We're back on track. But like that will never end. Like if you're virtual, you're going to be reliant on technology, changes in online marketing. Like someone in the weight loss industry finds a new technique, like wholesalers will be right behind them. You know what I mean? Like it's always going to change. So you got to keep your ear to the pavement. And we got behind like for a month, and you got to get back on track. So you're right. It's not easy, man. Like if you don't stay on it,
easy
will go away.
The only easy thing is getting too comfortable in success.
Yeah.
Right. And not adapting to new techniques, or just like you said, overconfidence. Haven't had that in wholesaling yet. I'm hoping to have to fight that off here shortly. Right. Like having so much success that I've got to be cautious of being too comfortable. I'm interested to know, since this is Casual Friday, we're coming in the new year, and I know you're kind of driving the ship here, but what are you doing for life and balance and your schedule with all the hustle and great work your company's doing? Like, how are you managing all that?
Yeah, I think my personal routine is I wake up early. I'm weird. I actually am effective if I have to do actual work, like stuff that requires thought and like typing or reading or whatever. I'll read a little bit and then I'll just do that work. And I try to get it done before my kids wake up at 7 a.m. I'm not good at work. If I have to like log in and do work at 8 p.m., like I'm really bad at it. Some people are good at it. I'm not. So I try to 8 p.m. afterwards, just relax and go to sleep and not look at stuff as much. So I get like 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. of decompression. But I got 2 kids. So like, honestly, every person with 2 kids is like working on this. Like maybe I only get an hour and a half to relax, right? But that's like every mom and dad with 2-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, it's fine.
Yep.
But we also in our companies kind of have a schedule where we really go ham, like Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, we play by big boy and big girl rules, like close your deals. Every person that's in your pipeline, talk to them, but like if there's like manual work or operational type stuff, like we kind of like let it slip into Monday. Not a company policy, but it's just kind of the way it's been. So that people can leave at like 2:30 p.m., 3 o'clock and get a little bit of time back. So our Fridays are pretty chill. And then Saturday and Sunday we read, educate. But I don't have a great answer because we're still hustling our asses off. So it's not like our balance is great, but it is what it is. What's your answer?
So that's something I'm really focusing on this year. Time blocking and being intentional with my time. And what I found is there's a couple things, right? So like the ramp up to start this thing marketing in December, like other parts of my life suffered, right? My nutrition suffered. So like I'm hard on the nutrition. So my schedule is 4 a.m. wake up. I'm making my cup of coffee, drinking water, and I give myself 30 minutes just to kind of wake up. And then I'm kind of I've got some reading time. So, I'll take a little bit of the Bible early in the morning, and then I go into planning and thinking time for about 15, 30 minutes. So I basically cross-reference my Google Calendar with kind of my written calendar where I'm scribbling notes all day, make sure I understand what I need to do for the day. 5:15, I'm doing all my real estate business. So from 5:15 to roughly 6:45, 7 o'clock, I'm calling all my leads. I'm doing any administration work I need to do, mostly leads, right? Because that's what makes money, and my admin sucks. So that's just the reality of my time.
Well, you're West Coast, so that's actually interesting because you invest in Florida, right?
Yeah,
so you actually,
exactly.
It's interesting. You've kind of aligned your geographic business around your personal.
5 a.m. for me is everybody else in the East Coast is normal wake up time.
Yeah, because everyone's listening. They're like, this dude's calling people at 6:15 in the morning. Like, leads at 6 a.m.
I'm investing East Coast, so it's 8 a.m. for those guys. And then I go and I exercise, do my physical training from about 7 to 7:40. Rapidly get ready, and then I'm at work, my active duty job, no later than 8 o'clock. I'm fortunate that my active duty job is kind of a late start, and it's not really it's not that intensive. So, and then I've got time blocked out from 11:30 to 12:30 to do any business work I got to get done that's urgent. And then from 4 p.m. to about 5 p.m., I'm back on real estate. And then from 5 p.m. to 8:30 is family and read time and prep time. So come home, you know how it is. You walk in the door, family demands the attention. Kids are in bed by 8:30. I'm in bed at 8:30, and I'm probably sleeping by 8:30 too.
Jesus, man. Honestly, I gotta get that's legit. That's a powerful schedule. I'll concede that you're more disciplined than I am, I think, in terms of your time. I think wow, that's really good, man. I much respect.
Discipline to make up for maybe my lack of talent, right? So I got to hustle harder than others, maybe.
I doubt that. I think the reason I think we succeed I can't say we succeeded, but I think we will succeed is like we're just not scared of action. Like there's almost no action I won't take if I think it's going to further the business and it won't hurt us and it's ethical. Like we'll do it. The challenge there is like the shiny object syndrome,
100%.
But
that's why that's why I kind of tightened my schedule this year, and it's been effective so far, and I've been able to be disciplined to it. But because even just as an entrepreneur, so it's like a combination of two things. We're entrepreneurial and we're kind of military action guys. So entrepreneurs see opportunity and all kinds of stuff. I think somebody was just saying that, but like every time you see an opportunity, you're like, oh, there's an opportunity.
Right.
Well, I should be the one exploiting that opportunity.
We will be better at this than that other person that's doing,
I can do that. I can do that so much better. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That is a challenge. But once you succeed in one business, you can branch out, but you never want to, my old coach, when I was playing football in college, said, "Don't ever leave a steak for a hot dog." Right. And to me, there is a lot of people like leaving real estate to focus on education and software and whatever. And my attitude is like, right now, margins might be tight. There's probably an oversaturation of wholesalers, right? And flipping has had degraded margins at certain months in the past 6 months, right? So maybe there's some people that used to buy at certain prices that are getting a little nervous. So wholesaling is, I think, very, very hard right now. But there's so many of us, I think it's easy to sell education and software, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, this is, I don't think we're at a balance in the ecosystem. So what I'm saying is, I think real estate's the steak. And I think, and for some people, like software and education is the hot dog, and like, I'm going to stick around for the appreciation and, you know what I mean? The large sums of money. If you can scale a software company, you win. I'm wrong, but it's a lot harder than people think.
And just look at history. Like everybody knows real estate is a real asset it doesn't go away. People always need a place to live. Maybe the terms and conditions and the environment change, but like real estate is a long-term, very secure investment. There's no other way to put it. Education can live and die. I think even software, obviously, the speed of technology can live and die. But yeah, real estate's the foundation.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I don't want to keep you too much longer. We're already at 37 minutes. I told you it would be 20, but I was just having fun. I didn't want to cut us off. But where can people find you if they wanted to look up Adam on the internet or on social media?
For sure. I'm most active on Instagram, Will to Win Investment. There's an underscore between each of those. I talk to just about anybody who reaches out on there. So if you want to get in touch with me, Will to Win Investments on Instagram. And then my website is willtowininvestments.com. It's no strings attached, just education in the sense that I'm giving everybody what my experiences are as I go through it. That's awesome, brother. I appreciate you coming on, speaking to our groups. And I had a lot of fun, man. It was a great time. Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon. All right, brother. Peace.